Some troubling new numbers to pass along about our U.S. service members who are struggling with the pressures from not just deployments and defending the country, but the pandemic, national disasters, and civil unrest. According to the Associated Press, deaths by suicide in the U.S. military have increased by 20% this year compared to 2019, with Army leaders reporting a 30% rise in active duty suicides. I want to bring in now the Secretary of the Army, McCarthy, to talk about this and other things. Sir, thank you so much for being here. And we'll start with these numbers. Look, this can be a complex issue, but certainly you all are noticing the spike. It coincided when the pandemic hit. So what do you attribute this spike in numbers to?
Well, yeah, as we mentioned in the Associated Press article, that currently the suicide numbers for the Army are higher than what we've seen year over year. When you have 19 years of sustained combat operations, as well as an operational tempo that is still on par with what we saw during the surge in 2009 and 10 of combat operations in the Middle East, our men and women are pressed to the limit. And so when you see suicide numbers rise, came roughly in the spring timeframe when COVID-19 pandemic really hit hard in the United States. It's clear it's adding additional stress on our men and women.
And you said kind of pressed to the limit. So these are maybe just extraordinary times for our U.S. men and women. So how are you helping them? How are you responding now during these unprecedented really times?
So the Army leadership has really invested itself really since the early summer in looking at our priorities and how we invest our time, and time being the key word there. Every day is a math problem. And how do we look at investments in our people, counseling them, getting feedback, knowing their family members, ensuring that you understand the pressures on them personally as well as professionally. When people are pushed every day, global demands like you've seen with 178,000 people deployed overseas, we had at the height of operations here in the United States with COVID and civil unrest, we had over 40,000 soldiers deployed just domestically. So from that standpoint, when 250,000 people are decisively engaged, and that's 250,000 getting ready, 250,000 just coming off, that's a constant state of churn. So we're very proud of their performance, but it wears on folks over time.
Look, they have a tough job, our men and women. Anyway, so now the pandemic happens, put an extra strain, and you all are really at the forefront, really, of trying to find a solution to this global problem with Operation Warp Speed, trying to find a vaccine. And I know the initial idea was to have a vaccine ready to go by January 2021 and eventually have 300 million doses. Is that timeline still reasonable? Is it still likely?
So from end to end on the COVID pandemic, whether it's building hospitals, augmenting staff to hospitals, delivering food, and even running nursing homes, the Army is central to the Operation Warp Speed effort. Medical Research and Development Command of the U.S. Army helped co-develop the vaccines for Ebola and Zika, and now are central to this effort for the pursuit of a COVID-19 vaccine. There's about 5 to 7 candidates globally that we are working with the private sector, utilizing our labs to compress development time, as well as looking at the testing and distribution sites around the country. There will be vaccine candidates that will become available in the December-January timeframe, and then those doses will continually be pushed throughout the United States, and we'll work with our allies and partners as well.
Well, sir, we always appreciate you all taking the time. These are very tough topics and tough times, but I think we all can still applaud the men and women of our military for the work they're doing under the added pressures now of this pandemic. Thank you so much for the update. We hope to see you again.
Thanks, TJ.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.